The Rain Slinger. Logline. When an ordinary man, struggling to survive the economic fallout of a devastating drought, discovers his desperate prayers can manipulate global weather patterns, he becomes the most wanted person on Earth, forcing him and his wife to decide whether to save their dying world or protect their fragile, miraculous secret from a military eager to weaponize the divine. Characters: Miles Grant, 40 seconds. An ordinary town boy struggling to make ends meet in hard times. He is pragmatic, overwhelmed by the power, and constantly looking for the easiest way out, which makes his eventual heroic act a true sacrifice. He is driven by survival, not destiny. Stacy Grant, 40 seconds. Miles's wife. Practical, sharp, and fiercely protective. She is the anchor Miles needs but must evolve into a strategist to keep them alive. Agent Sarah Hayes, 30 seconds. Lead investigator for the Department of Defense. Highly pragmatic, ex-military, and believes Miles's ability is a weapon that must be secured for national defense. Dr. Elias Thorne, 60 seconds. Head of Project Nimbus at the Pentagon. An AI pioneer obsessed with controlling natural systems. He sees Miles not as a man, but as a biological API. Act I. The anomaly. The drought. The world is parched, particularly the continental United States, suffering under the Great Thirst. Miles and Stacy Grant live in rural Harmony Creek, a town defined by its failing farmlands. Stacy works as a bookkeeper, Miles as a handyman, but their money, like the water, is diminishing. They are desperate to simply stay afloat. The miracle. In a moment of absolute financial and emotional desperation, watching his life and community dry up, Miles kneels in his cornfield. He doesn't pray with spiritual surrender. He shouts a raw, pragmatic plea at the sky. Less a prayer, more an incoherent wish for just one good break. He is, unknowingly, hitting an ancient, specific frequency. The sky above Harmony Creek, clear moments before, turns a deep, bruised indigo. An enormous, localized, indelible rain cloud forms and begins to pour. It rains, consistently, for 4 days, saturating their small county while neighboring regions remain bone dry. The echo. At the Pentagon's Joint Atmospheric Command, JAC, the AI known as Oracle flags the Harmony Creek event. It identifies the spontaneous moisture generation as a Level 9 climate anomaly, an event that breaks every known law of thermodynamics and atmospheric science. Dr. Thorne and Agent Hayes narrow the source down. They don't detect a bomb or a satellite, but a specific, localized burst of previously undetectable bioneurological energy emanating from Miles Grant's property, perfectly correlated with the cloud formation. It's not weather control, it's intentional weather creation. The realization. Miles and Stacy realize the truth when Stacy urges him to pray for rain for her sister's dry town 2 states away, a favor that could get them a much-needed loan. Miles, skeptical but desperate for the money, closes his eyes. Seconds later, news reports flood their phones. A flash storm in that distant town. They are terrified. Miles's prayer is the trigger, but the mechanism is terrifyingly real. Act 2. The pursuit. The hunt begins. Agent Hayes and a small, elite tactical team, disguised as FEMA drought relief workers, descend on Harmony Creek. They use advanced thermal and acoustic mapping to search for the energy signature source. The underground operation. Miles is initially reluctant to use the power outside of self-preservation. Stacy pushes him to use it for neighboring towns not out of pure charity, but to secure influence, small, untraceable gifts, or future favors. He starts using his power covertly, focusing on coordinates. The relief his reign brings is palpable, and the sheer volume of human suffering begins to slowly force a reluctant sense of duty upon him. He becomes known on encrypted channels as the Rain Slinger, a phantom savior leaving isolated wet patches in the vast desert of the drought. Stacy's fear. Stacy recognizes the power's addictive quality. Every successful rainfall brings relief and a little more leverage, but it also paints a bigger target on Miles's back. She sets up a digital perimeter, using Miles's laptop to track global weather and news, becoming their strategic defense coordinator. The trap. Dr. Thorne, using Oracle's predictive analytics, realizes Miles is prioritizing the neediest areas. He sends a decoy signal, a false alarm about a collapse at a major water treatment facility in Nevada. Miles, unable to ignore the crisis or the potential reputation boost, focuses his energy there. Capture. When Miles triggers the rain, the concentrated energy burst provides Agent Hayes with a definitive lock. They intercept Miles in a stolen van, using a specialized frequency inhibitor to disrupt his concentration and knock him unconscious before he can create a defensive storm. Stacy escapes, left alone with a single mission: get him back. Act 3. Project Nimbus. The facility. Miles awakens in a classified underground research bunker, Project Nimbus. He is secured in a chamber lined with dampening materials and monitored by Dr. Thorne. The revelation. Thorne reveals the truth. Miles isn't touching the divine. Millennia ago, a precursor civilization developed a colossal, interconnected terraforming network, a series of subterranean and atmospheric conduits designed to maintain optimal planetary climate. Miles possesses a unique genetic marker, a hyper-evolved frontal lobe connection that allows him to interface with the dormant network. His prayer is merely the highly focused, specific mental rhythm required to activate the ancient system. Forced weaponization. Thorne demands Miles use the network to end the great thirst on his command. Miles resists, fearing the scale of the power, but Thorne shows him live footage of the escalating civil unrest caused by the drought. Under immense psychological pressure, Miles agrees to try. The overload. Miles focuses on generating rain for the entire Midwest. The power surge is astronomical. Alarms scream. Miles feels the planetary network fighting back, designed for subtle adjustments, not brute force control. He loses control, and the generated storms become violent. Localized tempests, monsoon-level rain, flash floods, and hail the size of fists, causing chaos instead of salvation. Miles collapses, barely escaping catastrophic systemic failure. Dr. Thorne is furious. He demands total control. The partnership. Outside, Stacy connects with a disillusioned lab technician, Alex, who sees Thorne's megalomania. Alex confirms the truth about the terraforming network and provides Stacy with schematics. There is a central atmospheric conduit hub high in the Utah mountains, the system's original physical access point. The final prayer. Stacy, using the location data, executes a daring rescue, busting Miles out during a facility lockdown. They race toward the hub. Miles, battered and spiritually broken, realizes the goal isn't to control the power, but to release it, allowing the natural system to take over and heal itself. He chooses universal good over personal survival. Climax. Miles reaches the desolate, windswept hub, a massive, forgotten array hidden within a mountain peak. As he prepares to make his final link, Agent Hayes and her team arrive. Hayes is conflicted, but committed to her duty. A tense standoff ensues. Miles, ignoring the agents, focuses his entire being. His prayer is not a command for rain or sun, but a plea for system default. A massive pulse of blue energy erupts from the hub, overloading the military's tech and briefly incapacitating the agents. Miles's connection is severed, his unique neurological pathway burnt out. Resolution. Miles and Stacy watch from a distance as the blue light fades. The next day, the news is unbelievable. Gentle, restorative drizzle is reported simultaneously in every major city. A soft, universal rain that marks the end of the Great Thirst. The terraforming network has been rebooted into an autonomous, balanced mode. Miles is just Miles again, tired, human, and no longer able to hear the static of the heavens. Miles and Stacy disappear, driving their beat-up van toward an unknown future, finally free from the burden of global responsibility. The Pentagon shuts down Project Nimbus, forever searching for the Rain Slinger, unaware he's just a man working on a small, rainy farm somewhere new, planting seeds and trusting nature once more.